Welcome back to the Urban Uncensored channel. Please do well to subscribe, like, and drop your comments in the comment section. So today's episode of the Big Brother Lockdown Reunion Show, episode 6, was majorly about Katrina and a relationship with the housemates in the Big Brother house and outside of the Big Brother house. So Ebuka asked who Katrina was following on social media, and Katrina just quickly said that she thinks that the only people that she was following were Kiddwaya and Dorothy, and that led to Ebuka asking questions about why she wasn't following the other housemates. And T-Badge started the conversation and talked about why she felt or why she feels that Katrina unfollowed her. T-Badge said that the day she noticed that Katrina unfollowed her was when she posted pictures at Nengi's birthday party that held outside of the house. She said she noticed that as she posted pictures of Nengi's birthday party, Katrina unfollowed her. Praise also said that Katrina, Praise was another person that talked about Katrina's, relationship with other people, and Praise said that Katrina likes inherited enemies. He said that she expects you to be enemies with those people that she's enemies with, and Katrina talked about not wanting any frenemies. Katrina also, quickly talked about the fact that Lilo unfollowed her, and that she didn't know that Lilo unfollowed her, but when she found out that she saw a picture of Lilo and she liked, and she just went to Lilo's page and realized that Lilo unfollowed her, then she decided to unfollow Lilo. Another person that had something to say about this was Wathoni. Wathoni said that Katrina has issues with people not liking her posts or relating with things that she posts on social media. Katrina said that she followed most of them because of how they feel about her. They also talked about she and Laycon. Ebuka asked Laycon if Katrina was following him, and Katrina said she unfollowed Laycon because it doesn't care about her. Katrina said that they had a good relationship in the Big Brother house, that Laycon was one of those people that would always help her out in the kitchen while she was cooking for them. Remember that Katrina was known for cooking for them before she left the Big Brother house. So she said that he came out and she commented on his posts and he did not like it. I think what she commented was son, because that was what she referred to him as in the Big Brother house. But anyways, Laycon didn't comment or like the post, and that was why she said she decided to unfollow Laycon. And Laycon quickly, because Ebuka asked him about that situation, and Laycon was like, it doesn't or couldn't have responded to every of the comments that was put out on his page. About being honest, right here, Laycon has a lot of followers, of course, so many comments. It would be really hard for him to comment or like everybody that responds or relates with anything that he puts up on Instagram or on social media. Anyways, Laycon took our time to apologize to Katrina. Said that he was sorry if she felt a certain type of way, and that that it was apologetic about it. Another person that was moved on to was Lucy. Remember that Lucy and Katrina and the Big Brother house had a really, really, really good relationship. They were friends. And, Ebuka asked her, about that. Ebuka asked Katrina about herself and Lucy. And, quickly, Katrina was cool to talk about how their friendship started in the Big Brother house, how they had a confrontation, after which Lucy went to the room and was crying. And, Dorothy came to meet her to tell her that Lucy was crying. And then she knelt down by Lucy's bed and apologized to her and said that she would, never make her cry. And then afterwards, their friendship started in the Big Brother lockdown house. But outside of the house, it looks like they had something. Immediately, Lucy came out. But afterwards, maybe their relationship went sour. And, Katrina talked a lot about Lucy not being committed to the friendship that they had and not being loyal. She said she felt that Lucy was not loyal to her. She also said that Lucy was not communicating with her. Katrina talked about a beef with V and said that Lucy talked about her beef with V, and talked about how Lucy was cool with V, even though Lucy went on to explain the fact that herself and V are not even that close. Katrina also talked about the whole thing with Nengi, Lucy's relationship with Nengi, the fact that she was really angry with Lucy because Lucy came out of the house, had this negative energy for Nengi. Talked about an interview that Lucy granted and, said a lot of negative stuff about Nengi, but, quickly became friends with her and did not inform Katrina that she was friends with Nengi, because that's what I could get from everything. And Ebuka made sure to clarify that fact, the fact that Katrina was angry with Lucy because she became friends with Nengi and did not give her that information. So Lucy in that place looked confused and was trying to understand. I was trying to explain, talking about how she tried to reach out to Katrina, how Katrina was beefing with a lot of people, and how it actually was hard to keep track of the people that she was not friends with. And Lucy said something that probably got Katrina angry. Lucy talked about how they were not in a relationship, how it was friendship, and Lucy explained, talked about our relationship with V and Nengi, and even said it wasn't even that deep. At this point, Katrina walked out of the room. She got pissed, couldn't take a lot of what Lucy was saying, especially that question that Lucy asked if they were in a relationship, and Katrina took it differently. Katrina talked about how if they were really friends in the first place, how she was not even supposed to make that statement. So she walked out of the room, cried for a bit, and then came back to the room. And Lucy said something. Lucy talked about, asked or said something about the feeling, this friendship that Katrina had been talking about, that if it was really, really genuine, that she would have discussed this whole thing with her before getting to the reunion, that they would have had that discussion, that they had been in the same room where they made up, they were cool, everything was okay. And she kind of looked surprised that Katrina would bring this discussion, this conversation here, and that was what she said. So Ebuka also brought up a question about praise. Ebuka asked if this thing, this beef, or this thing that led to their friendship going sour was about praise, and Katrina said that she does not want to discuss anything relating to Lucy anymore. And then Ebuka asked Lucy if she had anything to say, and then she went on to say that she had nothing to say. Also, they talked about if Lucy, and this was how Katrina ended that conversation, saying that if Lucy doesn't know why she unfollowed her, then that they were not friends in the first place. And I told you guys, Ebuka made sure Ebuka was able to make sure that Katrina put out the reason she was angry with Lucy and unfollowed her. And the reason for this is that Lucy became cool with Nengi and did not give Katrina that information. And honestly, that's so funny with me. That's so funny to me. But yeah, it's not about me right now. We're still talking about the old Katrina and Kaisha issue. So yes, Ebuka was, asking everybody about their relationship with Katrina. Another person that was asked the question about Katrina was Kaisha. Ebuka asked Kaisha if she was following Katrina, and she said no. She said that she wasn't cool with Lucy and Katrina. Kaisha said, explained what happened, said that there was this particular boat cruise that they went on together, and explained that her mom was also in that boat cruise. She was also there with them. Her mom, just wanted to go and have fun. And she said the reason she's not cool with Kaisha, the reason she's not cool with Katrina, is the fact that Kaisha disrespected her mom. And the way that Katrina disrespected Kaisha's mom was that Kaisha's mom wanted to take pictures with Katrina. So Kaisha's sister went to tell Katrina that Kaisha's mom wanted to take pictures with her, and Katrina told Kaisha's mom to come over to where she was to come and take pictures. And honestly, if you ask me, I think that was really disrespectful, especially if you knew that was Kaisha's mom. But anyway, Katrina said that she didn't know that there was a lot of noise, there was music playing loud in the background, that she thought that Kaisha's sister said manager, not mother. So moving away from that, Kaisha talked about not playing with her family and all of that. And I think this was the point. This was the point where Kaisha had like a face-off. Kaisha, remember Kaisha had the face-off yesterday with Neo. Today she had the face-off with Lucy. At this point, threw a pillow at Lucy, but Lucy wasn't having it. Lucy stood up and gave her a slap, and that was where at that point both of them went out, and then they later came back. Now moving on and still talking about Katrina, Tochi was another person that was asked the question about Katrina. Now we know very well that Tochi and Katrina have been having a face-off on social media. Remember how Tochi had that question and answer session with his fans on social media? I think that was on Twitter. And they asked him why he unfollows Katrina, and he said he didn't know who Katrina was. So quickly, let me let you in on what Tochi said today at the reunion. Now, Tochi talked about Katrina unfollowing people for attending Nengi's birthday party. I personally think that that's really, really, really childish. That's quite petty. So she talked about that she unfollowed people for attending Nengi's party, and that he did not even attend that party, not because he had the beef with Nengi, but because he had other engagements on that same day. Then Tochi went on to talk about the question and answer session that he had, and when he was asked about unfollowing Katrina, and he said he doesn't know who Katrina was. So Tochi went on to say that after he granted that question and answer session, that Katrina decided to throw a shade at him by talking about him having two left legs. And then Tochi went on to say a lot of things to Katrina, things like nobody cares about you, you unfollow people and you are angry, you're unfollowing people for attending somebody's party, you have this attitude, you don't care about people, that nobody actually cares about you. The food you were even cooking in the house was not sweet. He put that out to her because she said, I was making food in the house, you people have a particular perception about me. And Tochi went on to ask, what perception do people have about you? Tochi then said that the perception that people actually have about you is the perception that you make them have about you, is what you put out that people have taken. So why are you angry? And then he told her to come down from her high horse, and then he changed his mind and said, no, it's not even I. This your horse is not even I, it's a low horse. And told her to try to respect people, learn to respect people. And then he went on to talk about, because Ebuka asked Katrina again about what Tochi was saying, and she kept on talking about perceiving her in a certain way, and Tochi told her that there was no perceiving in a certain way. You put out the way that people actually perceived you. And another thing that Katrina kept talking about was the fact that she wasn't long in the house. She didn't stay long in the house, so she didn't really bond with a lot of people, and that's why she feels the way that she actually feels. Now moving on from Katrina and Tochi, because they went back and forth. Tochi and Katrina going back and forth, with the insults. Tochi said Katrina was trouble. Tochi said Katrina was trouble, that she wasn't just trouble to him, but it was trouble to almost everybody. And the reaction from what Tochi said was crazy, because you know how somebody says something and you feel it's true and you make a certain type of reaction. That was the reaction from a lot of the housemates. Another person that was asked about the whole thing was Kiddwaya. Kiddwaya, who is actually cool, is actually cool with Katrina. When Ebuka asked him, he talked about the fact that she didn't stay long in the house and how that might have affected are being close to the housemates and all of that. Kiddwaya always, almost doesn't know what to say, always seems clueless, but that's what he said about Katrina's relationship with the other people in the house. Guys, this is the lowdown of what went down at the BBNaija Lockdown Reunion Show episode 6 today. Like I said earlier, please do well, subscribe, like, and don't forget to drop your comments in the comment section. Ciao.